Tonight's AMC Screen Unseen, aka the mystery movie of the night, was Life of Chuck. And thank God, because I was really looking forward to checking this out. I know it opens this weekend in some places, but I think it goes wide on the 12th because I didn't see any show times around my way until the 12th. So I'm glad I got to go see this early. This is starring Tom Hiddleston. This is a Stephen King, based off a Stephen King short story, which, people would think Stephen King is very much known for doing horror, and he's put a stamp on that genre, but people forget that Stephen King has also done just a lot of drama stories and whatnot. People kind of, but anyways, this movie was really fascinating. To kind of give you my thoughts on it without spoiling anything, this was really interesting because I did come into this movie a little bit late, not too late, like they were just kind of getting started, but I got the premise off the first kind of few minutes where, we have the movie kind of starting from a different perspective, not Chuck's perspective, but then you see how Chuck is affecting all these different people's lives. And then you see the movie is broken up into 3 different acts. But the way that they do it in this movie is very creative, where they kind of tell the story backwards. And I really like that because once we kind of get to act 2 and the final act, it kind of brings everything full circle, because at the beginning it almost feels very reminiscent of the Truman Show, and I was like, that's really fascinating. And then as the movie continues, you start to see and start to connect the dots, and you're like, oh shit, that's really brilliant. And I feel like this movie's themes and what it deals with, life, death, and just human connections, is pretty much the gist of this movie overall. And what I really like about this movie is just the performances overall, and even just the line deliveries. You see Mark Hamill in this, plays Chuck's grandfather, amazing character in this, and just a lot of just life gems, a lot of dope things that were just dropped, just about life and just how it works and how we're going to go through different things as different people. I thought it was really cool. I thought this was a really well acted. I could see some people feeling like the ending feels abrupt, but like I said, from the moment it starts to the beginning, I feel like it gets its point across very clearly. Tom Hiddleston, even though you don't see a lot of his character outside of probably the second act, that's probably when you see him the most. I think the trailer does a good job of hiding a lot of what this movie is actually about. So going into it, I think people will enjoy it more. Maybe it might not be everybody's cup of tea as far as what they're expecting from a Stephen King adaptation, but you also have Mike Flanagan attached to this, and I think that's a really easy sell for people. You say Mike Flanagan and Stephen King, that's a win-win in my eyes. But I definitely highly recommend checking this movie out for yourself. There's a lot of just really dope moments overall, and I even just like the way the movie is shot. It's very clean. It very much does feel like a Stephen King universe, or just something he would make. Maybe you could kind of see some tie-ins with other stories in this, or maybe it's just kind of its own self-contained thing, even though there were certain things that I noticed that I was like, okay, that was probably a reference to another Stephen King novel, because I know he likes to kind of do that. But all in all, Definitely go watch this. Let me know how you feel about it if you do get around to checking it out. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.